I'm gonna be showing her my offense face. Offense, offense. Check it out. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Today we're going to talk about the 5v5 season of GAC. This is the offense team video. We're also doing, at the same time, a video for defensive teams that you can check out. You can find the link in the video description, or you can wait to the end of this video and there will be a direct link that you can click on. Either way, a huge shout out to my patrons. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support, guys. I really couldn't do what I do without you. I truly, really appreciate every single one of you guys. And if you want to support this channel for free, folks, all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment, mount the algorithm. Studies have shown that if you can demonstrate that you've mounted the algorithm daily, people will be impressed. There's no doubting it. Now let's get to the actual game, shall we? That's whoa, we're in the game madness. Who invited us to a 13 million GP party? Holy cow. Okay, so we're doing this video, folks. For the people who want a smaller account video, I always do the one right after this, the day after this, for my 7 million account, and it'll hopefully have a few more approachable teams. Of course, this is a pretty big account. I spent money on it, and I had been doing it on my middle account, but it's similar enough that it's actually just a huge pain to try to do that and then show off like a couple of the meta teams that I'm using on my main account. So we're just gonna try to do this on my main account this time. All right. Anyways, we should get this out of the way, folks. There's kind of two schools of thought in GAC playing it. Either you go full efficiency route, which is you keep almost all of your good stuff and you just destroy all of your opponent's defenses. You put kind of crap teams, maybe they're kind of sneaky or tricky, but you don't put your best teams on defense. You put the teams down that are going to try to steal banners and stuff, and you just stress yourself out by getting the very highest possible score that you can, and then hope that your opponent can't get the same score. It's a very stressful, and if I may interject my own personal opinion, very stupid way to play. Now, I mean, I don't judge people who want to play it that way. It doesn't appeal to me. My style is more slugfest, kind of just defense heavy. Put as many Galactic Legends and other good teams down that I can, and then keep the teams that I'm going to need for offense, and just go for there. No, won't have as high of a score, but hopefully, even if you end up winning or losing your match to an efficiency player, hopefully they've had an extremely miserable match and they want to go home and rethink their lives. They'll be like, man, I didn't even realize I was on death sticks. It'll be that crazy. So, first off, we're keeping Jabba this time. You still keep a few Galactic Legends, folks. I'm keeping 3 in this case. So Jabba is here to probably take on Leia for the most part. It's gonna be a fairly interesting season, folks, with a lot of things that are kind of unknown. Jabba does not have the Bushkron anymore, and so he's gonna be able to take down a lot of things, but he's not gonna be quite as capable on defense. Sure, you could put him on defense, and I think that in some cases, if I needed to put one more Galactic Legend on defense, it would probably be Jabba, but this way, we can use Jabba to kill Leia, and that won't be too big of an issue. Leia doesn't have any good, really good crons for her either, so hopefully that'll be just one good cancellation of each other. And otherwise, you can win the mirror match. You can probably put a dent in some Kenobi teams. Though remember, Kenobi and all the other Jedi teams are going to have really good data crons, and so that Jabba is gonna roll up into the fight, and he's not going to be armed with the best crons in the situation. So keep that in mind. So the Eternal Emperor, He's just not that good on defense, guys. If you want to put him on defense, of course, you could put him with like Traya or something. It just doesn't seem worthwhile to me, though. I'll keep him for offense, and I don't kill Galactic Legends with him, really, unless someone gets dumb enough to put like a Jedi Master Luke team on defense or something. In which case, sure, I'll oblige them with a Sith Eternal kill. Otherwise, I usually just try to kill like the B teams, kill. Or the A- teams, like a good Traya squad, a Malgus squad, depending on what Malgus squad, of course. So something that has decent value that's also just not going to bite your head off, so you got to be careful. He's kind of walking in, it's perilous times, folks. He's, Sith Eternal Emperor can just die so easily. Like Bo-Katan Mandalore, you got to be really cautious. You got to put more characters down than just one if you want to do that, and then you're gonna lose half your characters. Doing it, you won't get good scores. And even though I'm not an efficiency player, I still try to get my max banners if possible, because you just never know how close a tie is gonna be. It's shocking sometimes. There are a lot of shocking things in this world, folks. Not least of which are things that include Palpatine, who he likes to shock people. That's in his nature. So, Jedi Master Luke and all the other Jedi, I didn't bother to break them all into little groups. It's basically, in this current meta, folks, it's going to be Galactic Republic Jedi are going to be in their own little segregated-ish group. Now, I mean, there might be some overlap, but then non-Galactic Republic Jedi will do their own thing, and it's kind of just a tricky, like, with the way the crons are set up. Basically, those are our two options. Maybe Mace floats around from one place to another, but for the most part, you want to get a Datacron for Jedi Master Luke that has lots of protection, so everyone else does a lot of damage. And frankly, with the current, if you are an endgame account, you probably have enough teams that you could maybe just smash this team all into one, or you could have like a Jedi Revan lead, or I mean, I've done a ton of videos of how to do the splits. If you want to do the Jedi splits, if you want to watch me figure it all out live, of course you can come watch me on Twitch. That is absolutely an option. So anyways, Jedi Master Luke is another team that so this is probably our biggest defense against, like, I don't know, a Kenobi squad. Jedi Master Kenobi is going to be really tough this season, and you could kill that. Maybe you could kill like a Kelleran Beck team. That team is going to be insane, honestly. So probably one of those two is going to be my target most of the time. There's still a Chase team out there, like Chirrut and Baze with like Saw, that you're going to be able to take out. The squad, kills Jedi Master Luke, or Jedi Master Kenobi, kills the, and you're gonna do huge hits with all the protection boost. And Jedi Cal is going to, once he gets riposte on him, you use his whirlwind move and give him riposte, so then he can hit under protection. He'll just destroy Kenobi squads. Otherwise, it's an interesting thing, because the Rey teams are going to be an enormous problem for a lot of people, and if you don't have Malicos, you're gonna have to find something clever to do with Rey. And I'll show you guys the Jank teams for defense in the other video. It's actually fairly insane. You guys can see the little tab here. You can't, but we have one called the Jank. It's some insane, weird stuff with Rey. But that being said, Jedi Master Luke is also really boosted. He could probably give Rey a run for her money, in some circumstances at least. This is usually just my reserve team. You take down a lot of things that make you uncomfortable and move right along. Now, if we're going to go into this situation where Rey is supercharged a lot of times, folks, with the Jank, in fact, I'm going to show you right now. It's so weird and awful. Don't necessarily, you don't have to look at the Finn team. This is kind of, you can put the Holdocron with the Finn team, which is apparently a little bit better. But the bigger deal here, folks, is Rey doesn't even, it's so weird. It's so weird. She's not even the lead. And you go with Third Sister, you go with Reva, and then you want Cal here to keep Rey alive if you can, and then Echo to cause more debuffs. And what happens is, with Third Sister and Grand Inquisitor, every opponent, you put it on defense, every opponent starts with a bunch of the Purge all right? They start with 6 purge. And what happens is then you look at the Datacron here, and I think I actually rolled it. Let me see. I rolled it on one of these rays here. Yeah, okay, so when a debuff on an enemy expires, resistance allies gain 2% offense, doubled if that debuff was dispelled until the end of the turn, or end of the battle. And so you're gonna go in, someone's gonna go into the fight and just boost Ray's offense by a ton because of all that purge, and you're gonna cleanse it, and then Echo is going to do an AoE with a bunch of debuffs on it, and she's just gonna get a million offense, and then when she gets to her ult, she just deletes people. That's just kind of how, that's the nature of how this mechanic works. I don't know if I'm gonna use this jank method, as I call it, but we need to be prepared to beat it, right? So, you know, and you use Baby Cal to keep Ray alive because he's pretty protective of her. So what I'm doing on offense to stop that, folks, is, you know, and she's taking the Kron that revives herself. If we can just stop the revive, and then we have to just take her out. The thing is, there's nothing keeping her alive here. Like, Ben does not keep her alive. She doesn't even have the thing, the damage immunity, because she's not the lead. And so the idea is she can't revive against a Malakos team. Even if Malakos dies, you can still kill her. And so the only thing keeping her alive really is that Jedi Cal, or Baby Cal. If she gets her ult, you're probably in trouble with this team. But I did actually, and I'm gonna have to tool around with the mods a little bit, I actually put a potency cross on Maul, so that when he's doing his big hits, it inflicts buff immunity. If you can do that to Ray, then the hits on her are not going to be nearly as inconsequential. If Cal is around, he's going to be putting protection up stacks on her like crazy. But if Maul can be there to stop those stacks from accumulating, then you're kind of in business. So the idea is, I mean, I've done it a lot of times before. You can kill Ray before she even hits her ult, and I think you can do that with this team. You can also kill Reva in one shot too. She doesn't revive against the nonsense here either. It's an expensive squad, and I don't really recommend placing it, folks, but this is what I plan on countering it with. We can't test it though, because we can't test it with Omicrons, and that's the only way you beat it, is with Malakos's a couple uniques. So really interested to see how this all plays out. I don't know how it's going to be, but this is going to be our intended Ray counter initially, all right? Even the jank teams, I think, are going to struggle a little bit. Against the non-jank teams, you maybe could go without Maul. I don't know. You could use Crew here or something if you really wanted to. I don't really want to, but you guys can. That's cool if you want to, guys. And then Bane. So the idea behind that Ray team is you can't use Bane against it, because Ray will boost herself so high and so fast that Bane will just die pretty quickly. So Bane. This would be the other option to take out Leia teams if you needed to. With the Kron, you need the Bane Kron, of course. Otherwise, he'll take out a lot of different teams in 5s. He's not quite as good in 5s as in 3s, but he'll still be pretty effective, especially with his Kron. It'll just keep boosting himself because he keeps summoning someone to die and boost him even more. Taking that other Sith character that has high relics is also pretty nice because they die and give him a huge boost as well. So yeah, he's going to take out most Galactic Legends. Like Jabba, he will lose against Jedi Master Kenobi. People have been saying like, oh yeah, you could definitely beat Kenobi with Bane if you take Sith Empire Trooper. We'll have to test that at some point, but the initial numbers look horrible. Like they look as unpromising as possible. Like I just am very doubtful that it works. I don't know. The numbers on Insights are like, oh yeah, okay, you just lose this. But maybe people didn't know how to do it. Now it's been developed and people know. I don't know. So on offense, this is somewhere where I deviate from a lot of people. So this is the difference in the fundamental placing tough teams on defense versus putting really good teams on defense. I put 5 Galactic Legends on defense, and then I'm gonna keep Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. This will take out Jabba teams. This will take out the turret base teams with Saw. This takes out a ton of stuff, guys. Honestly, it's kind of sad. Sometimes you're like, oh, wow, okay, well that's anticlimactic. You guys just died really hard, and it feels good, but then you're like, man, what could it have done on defense? And you know, with the Kron, it is really strong, but it's going to be countering a ton of other stuff that you need to be able to counter, and in its place, you can put something like Jedi Master Kenobi, which has way fewer counters, and you're able to kind of just do that safely, because Kenobi, you would keep Kenobi to like, counter Jabba. Instead, you could just use Dark Trooper Moff Gideon to counter Jabba. Call it good. Like I said, you can call a lot of things good. If you want, you can call a lot of things a lot of things. Just FYI, that's how words work. And the way Malgus works, he's got a new toy, folks, and I'm not sure yet if you want to put the Doubt Kron on him. This is a weird transition, folks. A lot of these teams do still want Doubt Krons on them. Malgus, he manufactures organic Doubt, right? So he doesn't need a Doubt Kron for that necessarily, but he does a lot of damage on offense. This is what kills. You'll kill Inquisition with this. You'll take out. This is one of the reasons I don't have Dark Trooper Moff Gideon on defense anymore, is because he just gets snuffed out by Malgus really easily. And so I may as well kill something high value with this and let them try to flounder about, trying to figure out what else to kill with Malgus. Now, there is the cool Kron that gives him a ton of health, and he's gonna hit crazy hard. He's gonna have a huge health pool, and he's gonna destroy people with it. But yeah, for offense, he's gonna be good. He also, with having Doubt on this team is very nice. So like I said, I'm kind of in a conundrum there. But this team takes out. This will take out the Saw Chase team. A lot of times, it'll take out, like I said, Inquisition. It'll take out like a Seer Malicos team that people like to put on defense for some inexplicable reason. I am so baffled by that. The Dark Trooper Moff Gideon team will take it out as well. This punches way up, and it's a lot of fun to use, folks. He has his Sephiroth moments where he just kind of jumps in the air and tries to end lives. It's a lot of fun. So next we have Traya. This team could go on defense if you wanted to. I like it available for offense. I just happen to have Thrawn available for offense because he's not on my Lord Vader team. Depending on what you have, you may want to keep that Thrawn for offense or for defense on Lord Vader. Just depends on what you're into, guys. But Darth Traya she's good on defense if you mod everyone with a bunch of protection. I just don't want to. The natural way to mod them, the easiest way to get the most use out of them is with health. You just put protection on them if you want to avoid like a Gidme team or something. But this team takes down like Tuskens. It takes down sometimes, depending on how stacked the turret base team is, it'll take down like a Chase team. There's a lot of good uses and applications to this. Again, part of our arsenal of being able to take down a lot of these kind of mid-range teams that are part of the meta. Having Traya available is really nice. This is a very common team on defense for efficiency players because Traya kind of steals banners and stuff, is the perception. And the reality is you can just use Sith Eternal Emperor and destroy this team fairly easily. So you know, it's a good time though. It's a super good time. Let's see. Dr. Aphra is diminished. She will remain Galadriel and go into the east. That's just how it goes. Maybe the west. I don't remember what frickin' direction elves go into to diminish. But one way or another, Dr. Aphra. All right, guys. So here's the big thing. I have Stap now. He is Relic 8. I put the Omicron on. He will absolutely be featured on my offense. I'm excited to use him. He's gonna destroy some things with the Datacron. It seriously is a really interesting interaction. This team is really gonna do some crazy stuff, I think. I don't know what yet, but the biggest question mark is how good is an Aphra team if you don't have B2? Because you need B2 to be able to kill like Jabba squads, for instance, or Jedi Master Luke teams if you want to punch way up. Like B2 is a huge part of that because he keeps taking extra turns and, you know, dispelling things and giving Aphra more turns and all that stuff. So yeah, if we're gonna be using Grievous, then probably Aphra stops being a way to kill Jabba. If you have to kill Jabba, though, you could swap out HK for B2, and then Grievous. Maybe we just go with a Grievous team with 4 characters. That might still work. Stab seems pretty good, honestly. That might be the answer. We'll have to see on offense. I'm pretty interested to see how that all takes place. Let's see, Starkiller. Poor old Starkiller, man, he got left behind. Seer Malicos has supplanted him on the one galactic legend he could consistently take out, because he can't take him out anymore. So he's going to be on resistance, like Zori hunting duty, basically. That's, you gotta, try to get as much potency as you can on Mara, and make sure you land those shock debuffs on them, and just go to town, man. This team can die to Zori if you're not careful. That's going to be a really tough thing. But I think this is the Zori hunting team for now. I think that'll work. Hopefully he's up to the task, man. I will say that if Zori starts to get her legs under her, you probably, first off, you want to have a Doubtcron here so that they stop gaining turn meter for a little bit, and then so you can get your legs back under you. And then if they keep going, then they can just delete you anyways. It's not fair. And it's not kind, but I don't really care. So let's see, Adrad. We have Adrad. He's cool. Just take a couple tanks with him. Baze would be best with him, but Jin, this is the last time we get to use Jin's Kron. She boosts herself a lot. She kills Tuskens in 5s pretty well because they don't have that endless loop. Can't the thing that makes the Tuskens perpetuate. So I can't talk, but I'm making YouTube videos, so that's a good trait to have. But the Adrad team is it kills all those Imperial teams. Like, it'll kill basically any Iden team that you run into. It won't take out Inquisition unless you get very lucky. That's a last ditch thing to do. Imperial Remnant, same thing until their Kron kind of goes away. But you can take out Tuskens, you can take out other team, like, people will be putting Iden down on defense some. It's a nice all-comers group to be able to take out different builds, and sometimes you just won't use them, but that's all right. Jin, mod her for a lot of offense so that she can ramp her offense up even more and destroy people. So I do have my Bando clocked to be 1 speed faster, so 295 on him, and then with Dash 294. So what'll happen is we have the Bamcron from one more season. The idea is Hondo's gonna go first because he has the Omicron. He'll push everyone's turn meter back. So then Bando goes next. He goes into poop stance. Dash does his AoE on everyone, and then you get 20 stacks of Whistling Birds. Then the other 2 guys just hang out. Queel helps boost damage and everything, and then eventually it wraps around to Beskar Mando taking another turn and deleting the entire team. This team can actually take out squads like, Sith, I can't talk. Starkiller teams. It probably could take down Starkiller teams. What I'm trying to say is, though, that they could take down Supreme Leader Kylo squads. I did it a couple times. It can be kind of a mess, but it does work. Nice to have a pre-taunt with IG-11, and then of course Hondo is able to lock someone up if they're going to be way faster and mess with you turn meter wise. So not a bad little team, even if they are a little bit slow. Hondo really makes up for it, and I don't think this team is going to be that effective on defense. I've faced it a lot of times last season, and it's not as good on offense though, man. You take down a lot of stuff. It's honestly very impressive. Wampa is what he is, guys. In Kyber, he's not going to do that much. In smaller leagues, he'll probably find some kind of team to kill. Sidious, I'm not really sure how he's going to go this time, folks. In 3s, I feel like he got killed by a lot of random stuff. In 5s, probably the same. Just he will be countering more because there's more characters shooting at him. I'm not really, my guess is we're not going to get a lot of use out of these 2. And, if Sidious, we go with him, it's like, oh, well, we're just doing this. We're just doing this because we're desperate, or something like that. He seems okay. I think 3s is probably more of his thing, but I could be wrong. He might really, really react well to being in fives, and having different targets that don't hit as hard hit him. That might actually give him a nice little boost. We'll have to see. Commander Luke, you can put this on defense if you really want to. I don't know what to say about this team, folks. They're with all the Jedi stuff that's out currently, like the Rebels are kind of being left in the dust here, and that's fine. It's just, you know, if you really wanted to, you could split this team up. You can keep it for General Skywalker teams that don't have a really good General Skywalker cron, that just keep ramping their damage. You know, it's a pretty stalwart, same old team as always, but it just has fewer and fewer things that it counters, so be prepared to be sad about if you really want to use that team in the end-to-end game. Sort of bounty hunters, I mean, these guys really need a boost. They need another character that makes them really strong. Fennec provided a nice little boost for a while, but it's been a long time, folks. Like, she was a requirement for Jabba, and Jabba's been out for a couple years now, so, you know, yes, Fennec's good, and then we haven't gotten any other bounty hunters other than the ones that go specifically with Jabba. And we could, like, give us Asajj with long hair or something. You know, with bounty hunter Asajj, that would be great. These guys still do well in smaller leagues, even in the lower levels of Kyber. You can do well. I don't have the heart to do all the splits with them now. They're just kind of lumped together with Zam. You know, you have a bunch of hidden ones that probably won't see use either. Poor little guys, they're such a foundational team and yet have been neglected for such a long time. Very sad state of affairs for them. Nightsisters, they're actually going to be pulling a lot this season because they still get the Doubt Cron. If you have them relict and you have Merrin with her Omicron, you can take down a lot of stuff like that Resistance squad that we were talking about, that they're going to get a lot of doubt on them, so they can't get all of the cool buffs that are going to make that team really good, and they won't get all of the turn meter that's going to make them really good. And in threes, it's scary because you have to choose between taking Zombie or Old Daka or, you know, Asajj, one of those. In this one, you get all of the cool characters, and you'll just eat that squad pretty well. I think if you have relics on them, you'll be able to take out some Grievous squads, even though Grievous is kind of scary on defense these days. Should be an interesting thing. Like, I think they're gonna get a kill every round this season, folks. That's why I have the thumbnail with Merrin on it, because that team's gonna be really good. Bad Batch, just be careful, folks. There are Grievous squads out there that you're gonna think, oh, that's the same old squad. You know, it's the same thing, and you won't notice that Stap is on the team, and Stap will just murder the hell out of you. So what do? They kind of just sit around. They're not that good these days, unfortunately. Let's see, the Phoenix team, probably the same thing. I mean, a lot of the teams they really liked to kill, like the Fin Zori team, are going to just gun them all the way down to hell. Right now, this team will still do some good depending on what level you are at, but you know, I'm mostly going to just keep them for reserves, and then, you know, clean things up if I need to, etc. And then finally, folks, I know that there's kind of overlap here, but if you really want to use your Gar and Imperial Super Commando team, this is a team that someone else shared with me in one of my videos recently in the comments, with Thrawn lead and, you know, Gar and Super Commando helping to assist with Piet. Also, you know, he's going to be countering a lot, and these two are going to help him counter a lot. And, you know, Shore Troopers here just along for the ride. This is probably, I mean, they say that you can kill Jabba, and I actually tried it in Squad Arena. I managed to kill like 3 things before Jabba eventually ate my squad, but, you know, I killed Boosh, I killed a couple other things, so it seems like there's some truth to it. I think it's going to be a fairly good squad, but we'll just have to see. So, anyways, that's it for the offense video, folks. Let me know what your thoughts are. Is this going to be enough for offense? I think it will. If you panic and you want Bo-Katan on offense, if you have her unlocked, I guess you could keep her. I don't care, guys. Do what you want, man. I'm not your boss. I'm not your mom. Probably not. We'll see. Let me know. Thank you guys, and go watch the defensive teams video, of course. And remember that in all things, Zereth prevails.